Hello everyone, welcome to Sports Kabri with me, Aradi and Rishi. After the first day of the Boxing Day test between India and Australia at the MCG, boys, it's there's always something in an India Australia series. I don't know what it is, but this like most India Australia um, bilateral series has seems to deliver at least on the action front. Even if you're not a cricket fan, just the drama this is putting out is quite a bit. And yeah, I mean, fair enough. I think uh, yeah, I don't know where to start with this one, but we'll just India had some difficult decisions to make after Ravichandran Ashwin decided to call it quits. Um, it meant that they were one bowler short. They decided to call up Tanush Kotial, and fair play to him. I think somebody who's deserved that India caught. But surprisingly, it was Washington Sundar who came into the 11 in place of Shubman Gill. So this was something that was a very interesting call because you would think that India would want to capitalize on the batting conditions at the MCG, but it wasn't to be the case. Washington Sundar coming in, this is a call that some had already predicted. I remember Dinesh Karthik saying before the game even began that he expected Washington Sundar to come in because the pitch would deteriorate towards the back end. But India are not going to be bowling last. So that puts almost this whole decision of bringing Washington Sundar in. I think it's almost redundant now because India are going to be chasing towards the back end of this test match. So first major call, Rishi, Washington Sundar in for Shubman Gill. What have you made of it? Because to me, it just seems like it's backfired because India lost the toss, and that's one of the biggest reasons he was brought in to help out on the final day if uh, Australia were chasing. But it hasn't gone that way. So what do you think about it?
I mean, yeah, like I kind of agree with you in the sense that if we did lose the toss, we should have had a contingency plan to like go with a lineup that had an extra batter because if the pitch does deteriorate, like it's like we're gonna need all the help we can get from our batters. And fair enough, like Washington Sundar can bat, he can contribute with the bat, but let's not take anything away from our top order, middle order batsmen, like who again, like Gill, to be fair, he hasn't had the greatest of times. He hasn't had the greatest of series ever since that Gabba innings into 2021. I think he hasn't, like, he's been kind of struggling outside of, in the Sena countries. But again, like when we are going into this situation that we are in, like we're bowling first, that means towards the end of the game, we're going to be chasing. Like, I mean, we're going to be batting. We're going to need that extra batter. I felt that we needed that extra batter. But then again, I feel there is a silver lining in this because ultimately we've all wanted Nitish Kumar Reddy to come up and bat at least slightly up the order. This is again assuming that he's not going to be sent after Washington Sundar and Jadeja. If he does get to bat higher up, I think we'll get to see that as well. We'll get to see with like this is all we've been talking about for the past couple of weeks, like that he does deserve to bat. He didn't get time at all. He like so. I feel in that manner at least we get this is one silver lining that we can take away from this, that at least Nitish Kumar Reddy will get to bat a little bit early. But other than that, dude, again, even today, like when they were bowling, I like there was pretty much zero turn. Like even the commentators were openly saying like there was zero turn and Jadeja was missing his length. Even Washington Sundar, because they were just like Smith and Labuschagne were just comfortably coming down the crease. Like they had no
Mm.
problem coming down the crease and hoiking us left and right. So hopefully the pitch deteriorates. Only then can we, completely make our maximum. But again, I don't think this is the greatest of decisions.
No, yeah, Sanjay Manjrekar obviously like he does have to say on a lot of things, as pointed it out. Strange selection on of the playing 11 on a non-turning pitch. The change made neither strengthens the bowling uh, much nor the batting. Gill dropped is harsh. Now I don't think based on his performances it's a harsh decision, but I think in general, not just the decision to bring in Washington Sundar seems a little odd. Like it's a big gamble because I'm guessing the gamble was based on, like I already said, the fact that India might be bowling on the final couple of days, where you probably then need an extra spinner. But think it's too much of a risk, but they've already taken that risk. And yeah, it's not been a great first day. Let's just quickly tell you what happened on day one. It was Australia, of course, won the toss, decided to bat like you saw on your screens. It's 311 for sixth. You'd probably think that somewhere in the middle order, you had some runs, you had potentially uh, Travis Head giving you runs, or you potentially had Mitch Marsh giving you runs after the ball was a little older and softer. But that wasn't the case because the runs came from the very top. A young Sam Konstas, 19 years of age, given his debut in the Boxing Day Test match, it's a big deal for him and I'm sure for his family. Uh, Nathan McSweeney, who hasn't quite lived up to expectation, dropped ahead of this test. We've known for a while that Sam Konstas will be given his chance in this test match, and he delivered an entertaining knock. I mean, if you really had to sum that knock up, I think you'd call it entertaining because he pulled the ramps out. I know, Rishi, you were frustrated about this. We spoke about this before, that he didn't nick a couple where he missed some of those ramps, and but then it did come off against Bumrah, and it did make him look less world class. But I'm sure if you on another day, he's probably going in the first couple of overs, right? Like he's the first couple of times he's tried it, he's probably gone on another day. So luck went his way, 60 of 65, very entertaining 60 of 65, and a very eventful inning, not only with the bat, but sort of his interactions with apparently a player he admires a lot, Virat Kohli. It was odd. It was weird. I just want to get your guys' take on this. Very interesting. Virat Kohli bumping into Sam Constas. It looked like it was Virat who went towards Sam Constas. I mean, we're all backers of Indian cricket, but it was I thought Virat was at fault, and the second I saw it, I was like, I don't know why he's doing that. Why you want to rile him up, you want to get in his face, do it, but there's no need to be physical about it in a weird way. Adia, what do you think of it, bro? Like when you saw it happen?
Yeah, I mean, firstly, before we go into like, I think for me, I think we went too quickly from Gill. I just want to give
Yeah,
my,
yeah,
thoughts on that. Firstly, I really, with Gill again, see, I would like to go 2 years, 3 years before, where firstly we got in Gill for the reason of, taking out older players like Pujara, like Rane out of the team, getting in youngsters, integrating them, giving them full backing. You know, for example, India taking Gill, I mean, getting in Gill into the team, integrating as the number three, and taking out Pujara, who's been, so strong for so many years for India. It showed that Rohit Sharma and at that time Dravid, etc., wanted to go towards like youth, wanted to push towards, younger generation of batting and give them the confidence. And for me, like, I'm surprised with how they've been able to handle the situation. Like, I just took a perspective. I don't know why they had to just drop Gill out of the blue. In terms of like, he hasn't been India's worst batsman. Technically, if you look at scored runs scored in the past three innings, he has been the highest score runner, run getter apart from KL. All Rohit Sharma, Virat, and Jaiswal all have performed equally poor. Even Pant, to be honest, he's been playing very bad this Test series. I don't know why the whole fact of we'll give Gill the number three, will make him India's future number three came into perspective, and then just for a tweak in your starting 11, I don't know if it is the right or wrong decision with Washington Sundar. It might play out well, but my point is, where did it come where you can easily just drop Gill right now? Because 2 months ago, it was not Gill, it was KL Rahul who was like the guy who would, get sacked if the batting was going bad and, the batting crumbled. 2 months later, KL was playing well. So they just like, okay, now the other guy is only Gill. Like, you can't, whatever happens with Kohli, whatever happens with Pant, whatever happens with Rohit Sharma, they're not ready to drop them. And right now, even Jaiswal, if he's playing, he's going to play, and merit to him because he's been India's top scorer. And I really want to like see the perspective of what comes in where you're dropping Gill. And this just didn't happen in Test cricket, even in T20s. He didn't play well, they just dropped him. Test cricket, to be fair, he hasn't played well, but he hasn't played the worst in the past two Test matches. I don't think he's been India's worst batsman. I still think Kohli, Rohit Sharma, Pant have equally played poorly, but I really don't get where they just drop him for the Test. I don't know if it's only for one test, if it's going to go forward the same way. And then will they bring him back? Are they ready to back, the players they want to back during tough times? Because I really think Melbourne is one place where Gill would have played well. I think this is looking at the way, the Australian batsmen are playing. I really believe like Gill could have played well here. And this was the same place where he scored 91 in his debut. So I really don't, man, it's weird where like they're just easily dropping players just for the sake of Rohit Sharma coming up, playing here, there. I don't know. I don't really think it's fair, and I really don't understand what the coaching staff, what the captain really wants out of this batting unit as a whole. And like I really think it will hurt them a lot in the next two test matches, at least in my opinion.
So the reports coming out, at least with Gill, has been that it looks like Rohit Sharma is going to go open the batting and KL Rahul is going to bat at three.
No, I think it's Rohit who. There were reports, conflicting reports, where they were saying Rohit will come number 3, and they don't want to disrupt the opening pair. Even today, in the commentators were also speaking that they don't want to disrupt Jaiswal, KL Rahul. At least by the looks of it, by what reports are there, most likely it's going to be KL Jaiswal, or else even if it's Rohit and Jaiswal, whoever opens it, I still again you see that like the first three tests, I think KL and Jaiswal still had good understanding between them. It's weird to see how we have to accommodate an anchor in the team and kick out the youngsters who can perform, who will perform. For me, it's like if you're giving trust in, you took out Pujara, he's a huge player for India. Your decision was Gill is the next player to play number 3 for India. Now you put Gill in that situation. And mind you, Gill has been India's second top scorer in tests in 2024. It's not that he's had a poor 2024 in tests. In New Zealand, he's the one who scored a lot of runs in the New Zealand series also. I agree, like he's been poor in the past 2 tests in Australia, but so has every other single batsman. I don't think anyone in the 2 tests they played, apart from KL Rahul, has played good for India in batting. Right? At the top order, I mean. Like none of them till punt. I don't think anyone's played well. The point is, why is it only Gill, who's again scored the highest number of runs in the past 3 innings?
I mean, bro, that's a very low. I don't think that's a stat you can look into.
Sorry?
I don't think that's a valid enough stat. Like to say
Yeah.
he scored the most runs in the last 3 innings, like that.
No, but my point is
He
again
scored
it comes
60
back.
runs, which is not.
Yeah, but the point is he scored 60 runs, but you look at the guys below him have
No,
scored
I think it's
lesser
fair to
runs.
say that nobody has scored runs. To say he
Exactly.
scored the
But my
most
point,
runs apart from
so,
Rahul, I think.
so Rahul, for example, if everyone's playing bad, you would generally go at the first, player who scored the least amount, the worst pack to take them out, for
No,
example.
I don't think Gill has been the worst. That's what I agree, but I don't think
Exactly.
it's kind of misleading to say that he has scored the second most runs. I know he has factually, but there's not a lot in it. 60 runs is still not good enough in
There is not a lot in 60 runs. I'm coming back to the point that it is not the fact that, okay, he scored 60 runs, he's the highest scorer amongst the worst. The point is, what is a decision where you're saying out of all my point is the entire top order is performing, poorly. Now, why is it that Gill is the one who's been taken out of the team apart from the rest of the players? Like, what is the decision based on that? And you're not bringing in other batsmen. For example, bro, if you got in Dhruv Jurel or some other batsman, maybe I can give an argument saying, okay, fine. At least you want to maybe change the order. You want to get Rohit back on top, whatever it is. But the point is, you're going in for an all-rounder, so you know it's not for batting power. You're getting Washington Sundar, who's again not been batting well anyway. So you're losing out on a batsman. You're making Rohit Sharma come number 3. What is the real reason where I still don't believe that? I feel like in each phases, there's just one man who's going to be thrown under the bus. As I said, 2 months ago it was KL Rahul. If for him, Goody came to Australia and played well, and suddenly everyone's talking about Gill. The media's putting pressure on Gill. I feel like it's just the perfect storm where Rohit Sharma can be like, okay, now Gill is the one who's going to be thrown under bus, and who knows in the future it can be someone else.
That I agree. Like I think that's.
I really don't understand where it's like you get in a player to nurture him. I don't think there's any good reason to just say, let's drop Gill. Like that's my whole point. But yeah, I guess we can't do anything about it because no one's going to drop Kohli, no one's going to drop Punt,
Yeah,
nobody's
you won't drop Rohit and Kohli.
Rohit Sharma. So I think, it's just the worst luck at the
Yeah, I think
worst time.
exactly. I think it's more luck, as in like it's never going to come to a situation where Rohit or Kohli either of them get dropped. Kohli, I understand. I think Rohit, it's time to really have a conversation about it. But anyways, uh, yeah, the little bump, the little nudge, I think has taken uh, limelight. Uh, Rishi, Kohli at fault. A lot of people have said Kohli at fault, by the way.
Bro, I mean, see, like if you did look at the camera angle, Konstas was just walking
This is
exactly.
actually damn
Konstas
funny.
is walking straight.
This
Look
is
at
really
this,
funny, bro.
like from cricket, like, exactly. Like how do you justify this? Like Kohli's walking from the slips. There is no reason for you to walk anywhere near, like near the batsman. And like before, it just happened before where Kohli, if he wants to get underneath someone's skin, if he wants to rattle someone, he goes close and then he says something under the breath to rattle him. All that is fine. All that is fair. Like it's only fair that okay, if there's a debutant, like you do everything to unsettle him. This is not the first time that's been happening. Like from like ever since the start of cricket, like people tend to go after the youngsters. Like even Sachin, when he played the first game, like the Pakistani seniors went after Sachin. Like even Kohli, like his first tour, like he was also bullied. Like this is not anything new, but there is a line. Like I don't think going and putting your shoulder in was necessary. Like you can just trash talk, because after the first the ram shot of Bumrah where he didn't get it, like I remember Virat Kohli was just staring at him. Like all the bowlers, the entire crowd was
Exactly,
actually out,
exactly. Yeah,
but
yeah.
the players were staring at him. He was visibly uncomfortable. Like you didn't have to go throw like your shoulder at it,
I
because
think what makes it
like
so much worse is just the fact that it was intentional. 20% of a
Oh,
match
I
fee
thought you would say
seems.
it's because it's a teenager. He's literally 19 years old, bro.
I mean, he's also a kid, but I mean, he looked like he was up for the fight. To be
see,
fair,
to be fair, like again, if
Rahul,
you're
it's a 36-year-old going against a
bro, but Adi,
19-year-old.
you
Do you
can't
realize
say
bro,
that?
19-year-old.
bro, that you
But
can't
you're
just. This
there
is
to
not
play
again.
professional
This is
sport.
not like you're
It's at the
getting some
highest
under
Are
level.
you guys
19.
saying it's okay to go barge into
No, I'm not
19-year-olds?
saying it's
Bro,
okay. I'm saying
Not
there's
barging.
just
a
because he's a
there's a
19-year-old, you don't
huge
have to be
difference
nice to
between
him.
there's a huge
Adi,
difference between going against kid who's playing. My point is, if you're going to play at the highest level, you can get it. Like, you're going to talk bad, you can talk back.
exactly, man.
You're going to
That's it.
talk, it's fine. The whole point is you're going against the kid with the intention of physical altercation against a kid, bro. It's 19 years old. You're 36 years old. The whole point is you're going and barging him. There are other players you can go barge. Bro, I'll tell you one thing. With Kohli, I've seen him be nice with guys like Maxwell, Head in the recent years. I've never seen, bro, the amount of things Labuschagn's been doing in the past three test matches. When have you ever seen Kohli go barge into him if he really wants to go barge in? If you're going and barging into someone like Labuschagne, even though I don't agree into going and even going physically and touching people in that sense, if you're doing it with Labuschagne, who's actually been talking a lot, you saw the way he acted today, Labuschagne. I think he would have a bigger shout to have like, okay, this makes sense. At least Labuschagne's getting under the skin. There's a reaction. Bro, this kid is 19 years old. He just came to play. He's just showing off his skills. He's just out there playing his shot. He's only playing his cricket. He hasn't spoken one word. And to be fair, it was Siraj. It was that straight drive where, like,
Yeah.
Konstas hit Siraj and he just played a straight drive. What can Konstas do? He's trying to play a shot. The ball goes and hits Siraj directly. And then, bro, with Siraj, he's the one who goes and starts talking with the kid. Like, again, I don't know what Siraj was thinking. I don't know why he is going and talking so much against the kid. It was not at all intentional. I think Siraj was talking something like, don't hit the ball at me. How can you hit the ball, etc. And then you could see that Virat gave that crazy stare. I'm like, bro, he didn't do anything. And then literally that next over, he goes and barges into him. Bro, there's a huge difference between talking and putting kids under pressure. Like what Rishi said, Sachin used to be targeted because he was the easiest guy to go, maybe ball bounces because he is going to be under the pressure. Like,
No,
if Indians are targeting in that sense, it's fine. But bro, going and barging into him,
no,
it's
I don't think
it's just lower
anybody
level.
is
I
okay with
can't.
Kohli going and punching into him. Like it's a really ridiculous
So see,
thing to
like
do.
I mean, it like if you are named in the lineup, it doesn't matter if you're 15, it doesn't matter if you're 16, it
That
doesn't
is there.
matter if
That is
you're
there.
40, it doesn't matter if you're 50. Like, hear me out. Okay. You are to be treated as anyone else in that lineup, as long as that the line that
You
you
don't
have
cross
an
that line.
understanding, you don't cross that line.
Yeah.
Okay, like you want to trash talk, you trash talk. You want to intimidate, you intimidate. You want to send barrages of bouncers, you send 100%. But again, unprovoked, even if it's provoked, there are plenty of ways where you can get the better out of the batsman. You don't have to be the one who's stepping out of the line. Like there is absolutely no reason.
Yeah,
And see, I mean, it kind of makes sense as to why quickly, like right after the end of play, Virat Kohli went in with the stewards and he admitted, like he apparently he did admit, and that's why they gave him the 20% match fee. So, like, imagine someone like Virat Kohli who is always fired up. Imagine he has to go and confirm, like, he has to go and admit his guilt. That just shows that there is no, like, he would have known that there is no possible out, like, there's no possible exit route in this. Like, he is pretty much caught in the act. He's pretty much there. Like, I don't think there's any way he could have gotten out of it.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
dude, like that again, like I agree with what Adi said, like in the sense that, bro, Mohammad Siraj, even like the first ball, I think it was hit straight back at him. And then Konstas, I think, took a step out and cut him over point. That was very similar to what remember the Pakistan, that India game, the throwback game where Venkatesh Prasad got it, and then he was doing that. Who was it? Saeed Anwar or Amir Sohail? The same thing where he hit him over point, and then Konstas just looked back, and that's it. I knew what was coming after that. Siraj was going to go whatever, and they did. That the exact same thing happened. Like Mohammad Siraj ended up going and trash talking, which led to, bro, like Mohammad Siraj, if you can bowl well, if you can let the ball at least,
Speak
if
for
your
yourself.
mouth is showing checks that your bowling can cash, then it makes sense. Just don't be the one who's doing all the talking and then you're bowling left, right, center. He is
So
getting pulled by Khawaja. He's getting pulled by Smith. He's getting
Just
pulled by
Smith, bro.
Konstas. He's getting whacked left, right, center. Like, I'm like, dude, do you not have any shame? Like, do you not have any respect for yourself where you are going and talking? After that, you're getting hit. Like just bowl some good balls, like get that reputation back, get that fear in the batsman back. Like here the batsmen are seeing this guy coming and doing all sorts of antics, and then he's just giving like whatever pressure the other bowlers bowling from the other end. This guy is the outlet. Like you have 2 3 4 bad balls coming at in a row, like you don't have to try hard also.
no, that's
It's
true.
just,
He does lose
yeah.
himself like in emotion quite a bit, Siraj. And I think he's been India's worst bowler this series, this tour. It's been, it's not been great. But I thought on the other hand, Akashdeep was pretty good. Again, like I think he's fairly consistent. But yeah, just moving on just to what Australia could achieve on with the bat. Cons just scored a very quick fire 60 of 65. I thought Khwaja played well for his 57 of 121. But then it was Labuschagne and Smith who really did the bulk of the scoring. 72 Stephen Smith, sorry, 72 Labuschagne and 68 Smith. Smith is still batting. Although they lost Head and Marsh pretty quickly to Bumrah, the partnership between Labuschagne and Smith, which they played time in the second session, they took their time, but I think they really did.
They were going at 5 and over. They were like motoring through.
Yeah, in the first innings, I'm talking about the second session.
Hmm.
Yeah, where it was a little less of the scoring. But yeah, quickly before that, just on this incident. Um, Mohammad Kaif, how does Bumrah celebrate the dismissal of Australia's main man, Travis said? Not over the top, no angry send off, just a smile. Kids learn, choose your role models wisely. And there is an image of, is he saying Virat isn't to be liked? What are we reading in? How are we reading into this?
Bro,
Or
I don't know.
is it shots
It
fired at
is a
Mohammad
clear
Siraj
indirect shot against Virat.
or Siraj?
I I know. I think it is Virat because Siraj not getting any wickets to even talk about
No,
that.
or
So I
is he
think
referring to the head send off from the previous game?
no. He was talking about this because when he got him out for duck today, he didn't celebrate much,
No, no,
and
I
then
know. But is he talking about the send off specifically? Like how when you get a wicket, you don't go over the top.
I think he's just trying to say that look how, dude, Mohammad K has always been throwing shades at Virat for a long time. I think it is something related to Virat. when guys write so cryptically, you really can make it however you want. He can be talking about Siraj, he might be talking about nobody, he might be talking only about Bumrah. We don't know. But again, I think one thing I really feel like, apart from maybe Virat fans, like I do think Indian, at least today, for Indian fans, whatever it is, like for me, being such a great supporter of Virat, I mean, I've been supporting Virat, and I think he's my only favorite cricketer over for India who's played for a while. And today, bro, when I just woke up like at 7. I missed what I saw, and when I woke up, I literally had to rewatch it like twice, thrice to like confirm, is it Virat actually going and barging into him? Like I was losing my mind when I saw that, and till now I'm like, every time I look at it, it's just like, I just cringe inside, bro. I'm like, why are you doing this to a 19-year-old? And like I literally went back and watched the highlights. That kid didn't even open his mouth, bro. And Konstas is literally like some Virat fanboy over there. Like I've seen stuff where like he's chosen Virat for everything, bro. Like he chose Virat over Steve Smith. There's one more thing where like,
Virat over Steve Smith. That is just too sad.
bro, there's one more thing where I saw like there was a question asked for him, like, who on your birthday, if you had only three people to call, who would you call? I think one was, I don't know, it was Bruno Mars or some random guy like that. No, I think it was Andrew Simons. It was someone, I'm not, can't remember. Then second one was like, called to his dad. And the third one was Virat Kohli, bro.
That's
Like,
so sad, dude.
bro, imagine like your idol. He's just 19, so he's like a guy who's watched Virat's prime age in when he was like 10, 11. And then you're coming and debuting against him, and literally within like first 10 overs, you get a shoulder barge against him, bro. Like, I really felt bad. I felt so guilty. I'm like, even though like Konstas like impressed me so much with his batting, he got extra brownie points from me just the way he handled it after that. Also, it was not that he went back, he didn't speak. He went back, even in the media when I was speaking about it, he was very calm. He didn't like tell anything. He just said, whatever happens in the field stays in the field. And you could see him genuinely, he didn't know what was happening because he was walking. He also told he was just looking and fitting his gloves, and then suddenly someone, he felt his shoulder, etc. So yeah, I mean, with Mohammad Kaif, I don't know, but I feel like every Indian, to an extent, if they're not a fan of Virat, and on the other side, those your CSK fans, your Mumbai fans, your Rohit Sharma fans, I think those section got like, the best content today to, fuel their agenda. And but overall, even as a sporting fan, as an Indian fan, or like as a cricketing fan, whatever sporting fan, I really felt like Virat is, I hold him to high standards, not just because of his batting is etc. But he is an idol. He knows he is an idol for the country. Every action he does is magnified and scrutinized 10 times more than any other player, mostly, especially in India.
Bro,
And yeah,
no, no. I just want to ask you guys, do you think like this incident will spur Virat on with the bat? Do you think like it's going to change his fortunes with the bat? Because I
Dude,
feel like
like,
there was
whenever
the
things like this
problem is
happen,
when you talk about it like that, it is generally where like someone comes and takes him, like someone comes and tries to mess with him, someone tries to come and do something to him. But dude, I feel like Australian team and like generally everyone's not trying to do that with him. There were certain things happening before the match also, with him and the Australian media, etc. I don't think anyone's tried to instigate him like they used to do it before, because they know what's going to happen. This time it was more of him going and trying to search for something, and again going against the kid. And I come back to the point that, Virat wants to be fiery, he wants to talk a lot. Why doesn't he go do that to Labuschagne? He's been talking a lot. He could go try shoulder barging him. He can go do anything with him.
but
Three
did
games
he
I've
get
seen
it?
him.
Like, he went searching for it, but at the end, do you guys think he got it? Finally, what he
What?
was looking for, because clearly the fans were agitated, the fans were openly booing him, and turns out the newspapers are also having a field day. They're openly calling him clown Kohli, and they're putting up posters of him and this that. So if anything, it would suggest that, okay, like, I'm not saying he is going to score, he has been out of form for a while, but again, like, these are all things, if it happened in the past, that would, I would look at it and be like, yeah, this is more than enough. This is almost like that Michael Jordan mentality where you don't even need anything significant. You just need something of the sort, and that will just, like, ignite a spark. I think if it were happening in the past, of course. And to be honest, it should be something. Like, what do you guys think? Is this enough to get him?
I don't know, bro. I mean, it might be enough actually. I mean, whenever
For
things like
me,
this happen, I don't know what it is with him, but I feel like it gets him going. But regardless, I think it shouldn't be a conversation we should particularly have, because at the end of the day, he's done something wrong. And dude, like every single time I've seen like something happen on the field, I mean, this, the first thing that I thought about when this happened, it took me back to 2008 when Harbhajan was whatever, like he had a whole trial thing for the Andrew Simons incident.
exactly. Even I thought it's gonna take 2 3 days. They're going to go
I
through.
the funny thing is, like at that point,
But that
you
had
backed
so
the
much
Indian
ambiguity.
players. In those situations, you back the Indian players because Harbhajan probably didn't say anything wrong, or like he
Yeah,
didn't
there
do
is
anything wrong.
no proof exactly.
And they all,
Harbhajan was on a different tangent. He wanted to say something else entirely.
yeah, that's what. So like, bro, the point is, we played with good spirits, played aggressive, but played with good spirits. I think this is becoming a little too much now. Like what Siraj, the whole thing
Bro,
with
but
Siraj, especially when
yeah,
it's you're not performing, dude. Like you're not performing. Like what are you, like Rishi said, like what are you backing it up with? Like you're talking, you're fine. That's fine. You can get in the face of people, but if it's literally. I feel like it's to his detriment almost. Like he's bowling terribly short. He has been throughout the entire series, and it's just not happening for him. But yeah, on the flip side, the Aussies are scoring runs. Like Smith is back, Labuschagne is back. A very struggling Labuschagne is now suddenly back to his best. It's
bro,
it's
but
weird. It's
yeah,
weird.
before going to Labuschagne, actually, what you said, even I thought, like before, like the hearing came, there were talks like, it's going to be a like 4 points deduction for him, which gives him a one match ban. I was literally thinking, what if Indian, like the Harbhajan scene when, like it was a Sydney test, right? Where they, after that, they were like,
Sydney, yeah.
they were not going to play the last test. I don't remember where it was,
Yeah.
because just for the fact that what Harbhajan got a one match ban, 3 match ban that time, and then Indian team was like, we're not going to travel to the next test match, and they were like, until we get clarity over the situation, etc. I was legit thinking, bro, imagine if Virat gets a one match ban now because of what he did, and then will Indian team be like, nah, we're not going to come, etc. And I was like,
No,
how would if the Indian team does that just for the fact that there is full proof that you can't, like, no one can deny it. Like if even an Indian fan sits and sees this video, you can give 95% blame to Virat, and he's the instigator, he's the one who went into someone else. So I actually wanted to see, was so curious. I was like, okay, what would happen? Will Rohit Sharma, will Gambhir take the decision of not going, moving forward, etc., if it happens? But again, bro, I actually weirdly knew, like, just sadly for the fact that it's Virat Kohli, they were not going to give him a ban. Like
But I don't
sometimes
think if there was a ban, I don't think you had much to argue this time. It was not like the
bro,
last.
I
like
feel like if it was anyone else, for sure they would have had a ban. Because I remember, like Rishi also said, the Rabada one, right, against Austria, the, he had to go through a hearing. He had to go through so much thing just to get like 3 points,
that was
etc.
accidental, mind you. That was
Exactly.
not even
It
intentional.
was, yeah. I don't even think it was anything. Like he didn't even realize he hit him or whatever it was. It was Warner, right? Correct. If I'm not wrong, that
Yeah.
situation. But bro, this thing I was literally expecting, like, okay, they're gonna have a nice hearing all night. And I thought Australians will also put pressure. Like I was expecting Australians to go all out on this and make this a big deal. And surprisingly, they didn't. Like again, I don't know why. Maybe it's because they rather have Virat batting and just him being in his zone rather than trying to instigate him and get him riled up. And that's what I said. Like before, if Virat had that, the mentality of Virat that time was very much like, okay, you come step on me, I will come harder, 10 times harder. But unfortunately for me, I don't know if it's test match or if it's just him overall. Like I can see that there's been a dip in that, like just that aggression mentality. It's very like on and off for me. It's like sometimes he's in that mode of, okay, I'm going to be aggressive. The next time you can see he's like, damn chill, he's just jolly, vibing, chilling with head, he's giving him hugs, etc. So like, but that's the thing with Virat. I don't know if this is really the riling up thing where like, okay, this is gonna get him fired up, get him back to the best. Because it's just the mentality of him batting properly. I don't think these two are correlated. And you see Siraj, he's getting all the fire he wants. Head is giving him, Labuschagne is giving him, Smith is giving him. everyone's just smacking out of the park. And I feel like to an extent, like Virat's an enabler because, like, if you see Virat going riling up, Siraj is like, a shadow. He's going to be riling up around like the entire field, like, no matter what. But
But do you
yeah,
guys
I
realize
think
that if Virat did get banned, this would effectively mean this MCG test would have been his last test in Australia. Like what that would
That's
have been
true.
such an
That's
anticlimactic
true.
way to like for a player who's so respected in Australia. Like I don't think like maybe this tour Bumrah is getting that like okay, people are like okay, he's being unplayable, but the kind of respect the Australians have for Virat is like I don't think anyone has ever had. Like he has come here, has had like he's come to Australia, he's had great tours, and then for him to end up like end his tour and his like cricket in Australia in such a way would have been so anticlimactic. Like
It really
it,
would have. But it may have also summed up his life in Australia in a way. But yeah, it's been one of those. But just looking back at the cricket, guys, like Australia placed very well, 311 for six at the end of day one. Uh, it's been a very good performance from the top four on what you would expect. Like if you win the toss, you choose to bat in Melbourne, you're expected to score runs, especially in the first innings. 350 is 300, 350, I think is a given, and they've got there pretty comfortably in the end. If they add another 60, 70 runs, are India already chasing the test match?
no, like the first
yeah,
over that Konstas faced, he was playing and missing. He was being beaten by Bumrah, and at that point I'm thinking, okay, like Australia, the selectors were under a lot of pressure because on the other end, Khwaja is not performing, but they've kept him and they've removed McSweeney, who, to be fair, McSweeney was doing his job well. Like in this series, the openers, their job, at least the Australian openers, their job primarily was not to score a lot of runs, but it is just to like give some sort of protection, some sort of shield from that new ball. And they were doing it well. Like McSweeney was also doing it well. Like I don't think anyone could have done significantly better than what McSweeney was doing. Like he did what he could. And like I
Rishi, you
at the
could.
same time huh?
I said you could. Like you, if you saw today, it actually means you could do better.
Yeah, like here, yeah, I was gonna get to that, but bro, to be honest, I don't like. I'm equally pissed at Bumrah as I am at Siraj. Like I don't think like not because Bumrah bowled as bad as Siraj, because again I hold him to a higher standard, and I felt he didn't bowl anywhere near the line and length that he was bowling in the previous three tests. Like the first, like I'm fairly confident. Like if it was Konstas playing in the first three tests instead of McSweeney, like I think he would have found life very difficult. Like this time, even in the first couple of overs, Konstas did feel it difficult, and then he had a failed attempt of a ram shot. The next over of Bumrah, he tries and fails again. And what really got me pissing is okay, by the second attempt, you know he's gonna go for that wild shot, that wild swing, that off shot that's not very conventional. Like, why do you not try and go aggressive? Like, I didn't see one bouncer coming from Bumrah towards Konstas. Like, go to his chest, go at his head, like go like show some intent, show some aggression. Like I did not see that at all. He's just like okay, like he saw Bumrah saw him like go walk across like this. Like Bumrah's only solution was to go at the stumps, which he also managed to like deal with it well. Like my first question was okay, he's trying to ramp, he's trying to like hit the switch. Why don't you just try and bounce him off? Like I don't think anyone in Australian team bowls like to be fair, I think Cummins can give that bite, but I don't think other than that, anyone can do it better than Bumrah. Like he can send in beautiful missiles. Like I didn't see any of that. Like that's where I felt okay, he was being a bit too nice. He was being a bit too okay, I'm gonna play by the book, I'm gonna play and get him beaten. And I think that is what ultimately backfired because I feel if Bumrah had been a little bit more aggressive today, I don't think the whole Konstas thing would have happened. Now it's just gone out of control. Like the whole country's revering him. The whole country is like celebrating Konstas. I think
Bro, come
that.
on, guys.
No, I
You
mean,
can't
it takes a
you
lot of
can't take
guts
it
for
away
you to
from
do
Con.
that.
Sorry, bro. Like
Yeah, yeah, dude. Like of course, like if Bumrah misses, you hit. That's very fair. Like
I'm
I'm not
sorry.
disputing.
I don't think even for the fact that you're putting him scoring runs based on Bumrah's poor bowling. Me personally, I don't think Bumrah bowled poorly. He was bowling the same line and length he's been bowling all three tests before. Also, it was literally in the third stump, fourth stump area. It was literally the same thing. It was a bit more fuller at times when he
It
got
was
smacked
Fuller.
over the
I think
strings.
he was searching for the wicket, but I don't think he was. It's not the same because
Bro,
bro,
I think it was because of the wicket. To be fair, there was nothing much in that wicket. And
yeah, yeah.
to be fair, Bumrah was just trying to be disciplined. Dude, look at the way Akashdeep bowled. They were bowling very similar line and length, both Bumrah and
No,
Akashdeep.
true, but like Bumrah, I think
Only fact was Bumrah was, there's this thing like until like Konstas got out, and when Labuschagne was bowling, the entire first session, like Khawaja only faced 4 balls of Bumrah the entire first session. So there was a clear plan. Like Konstas is the only one who's going to face Bumrah, and he played it out well because bro, 19-year-old
Yeah,
going against.
he did really well. Like he came out with a plan, and he had previously told that okay, I think I have something worked out for Bumrah, and he executed it really well. Like what
and
my
and,
problem is
and
not
my
is
point
not with
is,
what
bro, but Rishi, that's what
Konstas
I'm
did. It's
saying.
just that like Bumrah saw it coming, like saw it coming in the sense it was very evident, and he didn't try anything different in the sense he didn't
Yeah,
even have to try something unconventional. Like
I've
go
been
like a
telling this for
simple
a
what
long
go like
time
go
though.
for it, go for the bouncers. Like it's not even like he's like a tail ender or he's like a lower order batsman where you can't bounce him out. Like with the new ball with the cherry, I don't see why you couldn't. Like of course, even if that you get hit, you just have to be like okay, you know what, he's having that one of those innings that you just have to get on with it. But he didn't even try, and it's just that I was like, okay, dude, that is you're just being a little bit too one-dimensional now. Come on, you
That's
should
what
have
I've
done
been
that.
talking about Bumrah for ages, but today you guys are waking up to it. Anyways,
no, I
Bro,
don't think Bumrah has been
he still
one
picked
he's
up
he's
more
very
wickets.
bro.
one-dimensional. He
Even
has no
you're saying Bumrah was
variation.
bad.
All
I
these
tell
I've
you
said
his
before.
worst
You
innings.
guys said it doesn't
Yeah,
matter. It doesn't
no,
matter.
Ari, once
Ani,
again,
Today you're
if,
like
if,
it
if
matters more. It
even
matters
once again,
so
if
even
much.
on
you're
a bad
counting,
day,
if you're
he's
counting
picked
this
three
as a
for
bad
India.
Bumrah performance, I will take this. Like because this
Rishi,
he
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 had
got
come. He
Travis
was.
out with a Glenn McGrath ball.
Bro, it was a little brain fade of head. Please don't tell me it's like
No,
No,
some
no,
that
no,
is a
no.
mad
Like
crazy
brilliant
stuff.
ball.
bro, Bumrah in his first spell to Konstas was going at a runner ball. Okay, from that he's come back. He's
That
dropped his
every
economy
Rahul,
down to
but that was
3.6.
because you have to take in context. It was Kavaja and Labuschagne who was
It
batting
doesn't
after
matter,
that.
Abhi. Like, but they
It
also
does
know he's under
matter.
the pump.
How
They
can
know
you
he's under
not
pressure.
take context out, bro? For example, Konstas
Yeah,
playing beautiful cricket. He got smacked out of the park. He gets out. Jadeja gets him out. Next, struggling Kavaja, struggling Labuschagne. I wanted to speak about Labuschagne. I don't think he was
Both who hit
able to.
60 by the way. If that is
no, one
Yeah,
struggling,
second. He
wait.
got
Let me come
he
back
got
to
hit
it.
with a peach, Adi. Like
Huh?
he got hit with a beauty.
I guess I would give it 50-50. I still think Head shouldn't have left
And he
that
got
ball.
Marsh. I thought the one that got Marsh also was a good ball. Like
Bro, but again, coming down to Marsh, he's a guy who's been playing one of the worst cricket I've ever seen in my
Adi,
life.
then
I
what
don't
do you
want
want
to.
him to do? He's got three for 75. He's by far
I'm
your
not
best bowler.
denying. See, I'm not denying that, but my point is again, like I was just talking about how I always felt Bumrah's one-dimensional, and I was not trying to say that he's not good at what he does. I was just trying to come back to the point that he is one-dimensional, and you could see it today. I'm sorry if you want to tell anything else, but he is one-dimensional. When he's bowling that certain line and length, he's very tough to face. Batsmen don't know how to face him. But today, Constance came. No one knew how he plays. He showed how you can play Bumrah if he's bowling in those third stump, fourth stump area. And Constance played pretty well. Like I can't say
Bro,
anything
I
else.
can't I can't agree and say okay, like that's how you play Bumrah because Konstas on another day you nick one of those and you're gone for nothing
But
but
that
bro,
happens in
there was
Test cricket
so
every
many.
time, Rahul. Like you'll talk about Jaiswal's century. I could literally say he could have been out 3 times. KL Rahul's 80 last game. He could have been out for 20, for example. That's what I'm trying to say in Test cricket. In Test cricket, it's impossible to not get nicks. Like every good batsman always gets nicks. Like everyone gets nicks. I don't think
In
that's fair enough to say just because a player should have been nicked and got, it's not a good innings. You're talking about Labuschagne 60 runs. Labuschagne could have gotten out for 5-6 today because he got nicked like 3-4 times. That's my whole point. There's a stat, if I'm not wrong, every 16 ball a batsman nicks once to the slip. Like it happens in Test matches. It's always been
dude,
a
this is
thing.
not nick to the
Adi,
this is
having no no no,
this is
having like in
completely
test
missing the
match
ball.
when you're facing a good bowling attack, almost every other ball has your name written on it. And if you're
Exactly.
trying to play cricketing shots which are okay, like I wouldn't call what Consis played unorthodox, but then again it was very
Rishi,
streaky.
But you guys are only talking about the two, three
Hear
sixes
me out.
he hit. But he was hitting
When
beautiful
you
cover
are
drives, straight
playing,
drives, which we're not talking
No, no, no.
about.
I was
no,
impressed
I'm
of his
not even
batting.
talking about the straight drives. Even in the leg side, he
Yeah.
hit. He just lofted. He was just
Yeah,
being
he
streaky.
pulled Siraj, right?
No, no, I'm talking Bumrah. It
Okay,
was a
whatever.
ball out. It was a ball just outside off stump, good length. He went, tried slog. He actually did slog it. He played across the line. He got it over mid wicket. And I'm not saying you can't get out or anything. Like if you're playing good balls, if you're playing, you tend to have those balls which have your name on it. But that is one thing. But then playing streaky shots and getting away with it is another thing. That again,
Oh, bro, come on. I don't.
like
Bro, he came with the plan. Again, I'm coming back to the point
yeah,
that he
yeah,
knew what to do and he played
true,
it
true.
to the dot, like to whatever anyone could do, he did it well. And again, I still think I don't see me personally. I don't think Bumrah was poor. I think the pitch was there to be played. It was not that great of a bowling pitch. I still think this was the same line and length he's been bowling the entire test series. I don't think. Tell me what's different between this line and length versus the past three games. You guys can't really make a huge difference. Only thing is he didn't change his variation. He didn't try to ball bounces or ball it to his pads, etc. He didn't do that. We know that. But I don't. I wouldn't say it was Bumrah's low. I think it just matters. Like Bumrah bowling the same line and length in a T20 game in Chinnaswamy Stadium, he still might get smacked for runs. My point is, I think he was still bowling the same. I just think he found this is the first time someone countered him, and he
No,
just
I
couldn't
bro,
find a
see,
solution.
like definitely credit to him for the way his intent at least. He didn't say, "Oh, I missed a couple of ramps. Let me not try it again." He had the courage to do it over and over. He played very good cricketing shots, like you guys said. I think he pulled very well off the back foot, and yeah, in general, he looked like a player. I think he did get stuck up a couple of times when the ball was a little wide because his feet weren't. I don't think he's got the best footwork in the world. So these are technical things that we'll only see after a few more tests on probably more challenging wickets. But today, 100%. Kudos to him for the way he played and the intent he showed. But yeah, just finally, what are we expecting from day two? Rishi, just quickly, yeah, what do you want? First session intent from Indian bowlers. Do you see it going to be positive? Do you think it's going to be a case of quickly get 4 wickets, finish it off in the morning session, and then we bat long?
Dude, yeah, I mean, we have to clearly get them out. Like the longer they stay, the harder it gets. Like I think every session, if the pitch reports are correct, they are going to like it is going to deteriorate by the session. So it like I don't think we should waste any time in like getting them out. Like, but then again, from what I saw today, I'm not very optimistic in the sense that even towards the end, I felt Patrick Cummins was being way too comfortable. He was able to block off balls with ease. Like, bro, this like like the sad part is I was watching Cummins and Smith bat towards the end of the day. That gave me that Ashes vibes where Nathan Lyon was batting with Steve Smith. Nathan Lyon was hopping around and batting, and as long as he was comfortably getting like blocking balls from one end, Steve Smith was scoring runs from the other end. It had that ominous look for me. Like I was like, dude, this I feel if we don't quickly get Cummins out, at least this could very well turn into that because Cummins has he was pretty comfortable. So if we do get to that stage, I think we're gonna have problems. But then again, uh, like I want to see some sort of a game plan from the Indian batters, especially from our senior batters. I don't want Rohit Sharma his legs planted, him just trying random shots and getting out. Like again, Konstas tried shots, but then he was committed. He had a proper plan. It worked. Rohit Sharma, I don't want that walking wicket scenario. Virat Kohli, again, there were reports saying that he did look good in the nets. He was leaving balls outside off. Again, there is going to be nothing if you're going to chase a ball, a fourth stump, fifth stump ball that Boland is going to bowl. And to be fair, I think that is one avenue which we could use because I felt the pitch wasn't doing much in the sense the Pacers didn't have a lot. And I feel in one of those cases, like I feel last time also, what we did was we did target Boland. I remember Pant going after Boland and he couldn't do pretty much anything about it. Boland is one of those bowlers. If you don't respect him, if you don't play the defensive shots, he doesn't have a plan B. Like Boland he is going to bowl that ball outside off stump. He's going to keep at it. So I feel we have to exploit that, and we really need to show some intent. We can't just hang in there and be like, okay, we're gonna be on the back foot. We're gonna see what happens. We're gonna have
No,
to show some sign.
100%, bro. I think intent. going to be very important, especially when India go out to bowl. If we can somehow get Australia to about 350, 360, 370, I think there's still an opportunity because I'm expecting KL Rahul to have a very good test match. It's a good batting wicket, especially when you're batting in the first innings. Go and cash in. I am really expecting Virat Kohli to do well. If this doesn't happen, if this test match doesn't happen, and doesn't go Virat's way, I'm personally going to be very disappointed. But it's a good wicket to
Who do
bat
you
on.
guys think will open tomorrow? Do you think it's Rohit or KL? If it comes back,
Bro,
comes down to
if
us
I
playing.
see KL batting at 3, I will
But
be pissed off. I'll tell
but
you
don't you
why I'll
think?
be pissed off. I think KL's best position is number 3, but I'll tell you
Yeah,
why I'll be
exactly.
pissed off. It's
I
because
know.
we are going to lose a wicket in the first 5 minutes, and I don't want that. Like, I cannot
What
see
if
Rohit
what if
Sharma.
Rohit Sharma scored like 70 of like 70 balls? What would
Bro,
then?
what if means, yeah, okay, like, yeah, I will
If
take
the,
it.
if
But
But
if that
but
happens, if
but no,
that
bro,
see
like,
the
no,
thing
no,
is
no.
my point is
the
like he scored like okay, what if it's like a quick fire 30 of like 15, 20 balls?
No,
Or
bro,
like
yeah.
40 of like 30 balls
It
kinda.
needs to be a long beginnings, bro. From one of the openers has to score 100 in this game. Like, it's one of those games. And it's not going to happen from if I mean, I'm not saying it can't happen from Rohit Sharma's bat, but right now your best chance is KL Rahul. So let him.
But even if you think KL needs to be like you're saying him his best position number three, looking the way he's played this past three games at opening, would you still prefer him opening, or if it's like I'd rather have a shield of number three in KL than lose one wicket early and then you're going to lose two wickets. You know what I mean? For example, what you're trying to say, like for example, bro, like if we have the idea of okay, Rohit Sharma is going to get out very quick. If it's like if KL gets out and then Rohit Sharma has to come in,
no, I
India
don't think
might
Rohit
be like
Sharma
No,
will
two
for
come
wickets.
me,
down.
yeah.
Yeah, no one else is there. If
No,
Rohit
no,
Sharma
for
doesn't
me,
come
it's
in,
more like
I think if it does come down to that, I think they might just push Virat up, like everyone up.
no,
no, no,
I
no, no,
don't
no.
think.
Rohit Sharma is
Yeah,
going
it's
to
not.
definitely bat at 3, or he's going to. But
I
I'll
don't
tell
think they
you,
would have dropped Gill and
yeah,
put Rohit
yeah,
Sharma as
no,
still
no.
at number five. Like, it doesn't make
For
sense.
me, I would have KL open the batting only because there's a better chance that KL will do well at the top of the order, which means the ball is a little older for Rohit Sharma to come and bat face.
Rahul, Rohit Sharma came number five
I'm
last.
just saying, like, I'm just
Who cares?
looking at what is like the best case scenario. Like, that's it. Like, there's no other thing. Like, KL Rahul, I think, is our best batter. Played the new ball
That
very well.
you know, I
So
all
yeah.
that's why. But that's the thing. I feel like that's why I would rather have KL on number three because just for the fact that KL, if the situation is okay, there's one wicket down. For KL, it's just going to be like, okay, for me, I'm still opening. I'm going to sit and pace my 80 balls, 90 balls here. For me, it's like if KL gets out early, whatever happens, or like Jaiswal gets out, whatever happens. And then you get, Rohit Sharma coming in. If he gets next one early, then you have two wickets down. And that I feel like that's a different pressure for Kohli, and that's why he's been struggling a bit more. When Kohli comes in, there's two wickets down. I don't even think Kohli's in the right mentality is formed to be like, okay, let me take the slow. He sees, okay, we're like 20, 30 for two. I need to score runs. He also, I feel like that's the major reason why he searches for the off stump and he also gets out. So that's why I feel like I'd rather have KL number three just for the fact that if Rohit Sharma gets out, he'll get out early by scoring a lot of runs. I feel like if he opens, he's at least going to score 20, 30 odd runs very quickly. And then I feel like KL can suss it out better, bro. I just feel
I
like
don't
that.
have that confidence in Rohit at the moment, but yeah,
But that's why,
like what
like,
you're saying.
the point is like there's no confidence. You'd rather have him opening than number three.
Maybe I mean I like I think there's a conversation to be had probably after this. But I don't know, man. Right now, let's see what
After this,
happens.
I
Let's see
don't
what.
think there's no more test matches, bro.
I mean, if yeah,
There
as
are
you said,
rumors, right, saying someone's going to retire and all stuff like that
it
going
says
on.
that people are saying at least one retirement is
I don't
coming.
think there's any other retirement age player right now apart from one player.
Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. You never know. You might be surprised, and Jadeja might come out and say, "Yeah, I'm done." Like, you never
Oh,
know.
bro, I'm sure Jadeja wants to get that wicket taker thing, so I don't think he'll be retiring anytime soon.
Well, let's see. I mean, okay, this is why we're looking. Day two of India Australia at the MCG. It's poised again to be a very good test match. Expecting this to be a long test match. 5 days we get. We're going to get. Looks like we're going to get 5 days of cricketing action. It looks like a game that will probably be decided on the last day, unless you have a mega collapse from India, which I hopefully we don't get to see. But yeah, all prepared, all set. Thanks everyone for watching. Please like and share the videos. Subscribe to Sports Kabri. See you soon.